Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. Welcome to this live stream. Welcome to this live stream where we'll be doing our F1 2025 driver predictions, who does where, obviously, who does where in terms of looking at the driver market and who does where for 2025, which is basically a preparation for the 2026 regulations, of course, that are done coming in place. So far, these are the drivers that are contracted already for 2025. Max Verstappen's going to be contracted at Red Bull. George Russell's contracted at Mercedes. Max Verstappen obviously all depends on the ongoing Christian Horner saga. So there's no guarantee Max Verstappen will stay at Red Bull. We've got McLaren, which is already confirmed with Lando Norris and also Piastri. And then Lance Stroll is another questionable one with his dad looking to sell his stake in the team and sharing the team. Looking to sell his share in the team, so that's another questionable one. But obviously, we do know Ferrari and McLaren are definitely the ones that are going to be guaranteed. McLaren with Lando Norris and also Piastri, and we've got Ferrari with Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. I've obviously given my thoughts on Lewis Hamilton down to Ferrari. I don't personally, it's more of a good move for Hamilton than Ferrari. I think it's a good move for Hamilton in terms of his bank account, to be honest with you, than the whole team, in my opinion, because I just think that partnership of Hamilton and Charles Leclerc is just going to be a complete car crash, in my opinion, over the next 2 years. We saw what happened at Mercedes with Russell and Hamilton and Qatar. Both want to be number one driver. I just don't know what it is with these teams. Why do these top teams think these top teams always seem to go for the fancy lineup? Not go for a sensible lineup. And I think that's the only way I can see Mercedes, Ferrari, and McLaren chance on Red Bull if they get a number one driver who's happy to be number one, driver who's happy to be number two. And unfortunately for Ferrari, I think Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, they both have egos. And that ain't done be good for the team, in my opinion. And yes, you get a good number two to have alongside Lewis Hamilton. But as I said, I don't want to repeat myself on Hamilton's move to Ferrari. It's a bank account move for Lewis Hamilton. Apart from that, I don't see Ferrari winning any titles. Regardless, it's more about Lewis Hamilton's bank account, that move, in my opinion. So, but we will get straight onto it. So we will start off with Red Bull. Max Verstappen is contracted, but again, we've got that undone Christian Horner situation, so he could well leave Red Bull, Max Verstappen. I don't think he will leave. I do think he will stay at Red Bull, Max Verstappen. So Max Verstappen is contracted, and the way that options are picked out is Sergio Perez, obviously, to stay for another year at Red Bull. I picked out Carlos Sainz, who is going to be leaving Ferrari after being replaced by Lewis Hamilton. Carlos Sainz is a very good option. And it's an option for me. He's the only driver who's probably good enough to replace Sergio Perez, in my opinion. And that's where he gets it as well. And that's a sensible move. As well. He's had that bond in the past with Red Bull where he was driving for Toro Rosso, Carlos Sainz. Pretty sure him and Verstappen did try together at Toro Rosso. I think it's quite far back though, but I'm pretty sure they did. I can't remember. To be honest with you, maybe it might have been just before Verstappen arrived. But Carlos Sainz always has that bond with Red Bull, doesn't he? Despite trying for Ferrari. And I think Carlos Sainz is probably the most realistic option to replace Sergio Perez, in my opinion. It's definitely between Perez and Carlos Sainz. I'm not having this Daniel Ricciardo nonsense, in my opinion. Because Daniel Ricciardo, he ain't done enough to try for the top team. Let's be real. Let's be real about it. Not anymore. And you don't go back to your driver. Simple as that. Don't go back to a driver that used to try for Red Bull. Same with Alex Albon. Same with Perez. I'd never put them in my options for me, because the same result will happen, and Alex Albon and Perez will both start playing then, because I don't like Max Verstappen being number one. So, but obviously, Alex Albon, Perez, you have to say it was too early for them to try for Red Bull. But I think this will just move on now. That ship has sailed now for both of them. Now, Alex Albon's probably more of a realistic option than Perez, but I am put either of them on here. And finally, the other realistic option done for is Fernando Alonso. Again, I think that could happen with whoever stays at Red Bull. I mean, both of them could leave Red Bull for Verstappen and Perez, with obviously the Ondo and Christian Horner situation. Fernando Alonso, for me, will be hitting this year, just jumping at the bit, with obviously the seats available at Red Bull and Mercedes as well. I don't think he'll stay at Aston Martin, because it's like they promised Fernando Alonso, but it was a promise of the eyes. Let's be real, from Aston Martin about Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso obviously wants to have the car, doesn't he? Wants to have the car, and Verstappen and Alonso, again, I don't think that will be a good partnership, because both will have egos. Verstappen, obviously a 3-time world champion, now going to become a 4-time world champion this season. Fernando Alonso, obviously a back-to-back world champion, and he does have an ego on wanting to be probably the number one driver at the team as well. So I really can't see that working, to be honest with you. But it will definitely be a realistic end, in my opinion, Alonso. And yes, he's happy to be number 2 to Verstappen, then that's going to be scary for the rest, isn't it? In my opinion, I think that's going to be scary for the rest. But in terms of who I've done for, I think Sergio Perez. I think they'll get rid of Perez, in my opinion, at the end of the season. Even if Sergio Perez does the job and finishes second behind Max Verstappen, I've done for Carlos Sainz. I've done for Carlos Sainz to replace Max Verstappen for me. Not to replace Max Verstappen, to replace Sergio Perez and team up with Max Verstappen at Red Bull. Just that bond I've had in the past, Carlos Sainz and Red Bull. I can't believe people are not really talking about it that much, to be honest with you. And then next season, going to be a preparation for the 2026 regulations. So you can see a lot of teams are going to be making their moves quite early, in my opinion. We could have a crazy driver market in terms of rumours as well. And I think Carlos Sainz, that's a bloody good move, in my opinion. And that will be a good replacement for Sergio Perez. And will probably a replacement that will probably keep Red Bull right at the top again, especially done into the new regulations, in my opinion. But obviously, the new regulations is obviously a massive question mark. We don't know who's going to be at the top. But you would expect Ferrari to prepare well for the new regulations as well. Todd Dave, did me second eyes. Don't answer the other way. I'm back, don't worry, I'm back. I'm back now. It was having to answer fucking delivery. You know how it is, having to answer putting delivery to when you're trying to do a fucking live stream. It's not really good, is it? But yeah, I am back now. And as I was saying, yeah, Carlos Sainz for me. I've been there with Pierce Perez at the end of the season, Red Bull. And some of all that preparation now for the Euro Racings in 2026. I mean, this year could actually be an unpredictable year as well, because a few teams might be preparing for the Euro Racings. I wonder if Alpine are preparing for the Euro Racings, because that's why you wonder. You probably know why. You probably wonder why the Alpine are right at the bottom. So maybe that took play a part. But yeah, I've done for Carlos Sainz to replace Sergio Perez. Very realistic, in my opinion. The only identical replacement you could have for Sergio Perez, which would be a sensible replacement and a very good replacement as well. So I think Carlos Sainz is definitely my pick to replace Sergio Perez at Red Bull. Now then, we move on to Mercedes and who will replace Lewis Hamilton. And these are the options I've done for to replace Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes. Yes, I have gone for a very bold one, which is Gas in that option. But just hear me out. So, but George Russell, obviously a long term. He's always been a long term project at Mercedes, and he'll end up staying unless he don't step up this season. Then there could be question marks. About George Russell. But the realistic options are done for Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, Kimi Antonelli, and yes, Sebastian Vettel. I have done for Sebastian Vettel. Yes, you know what? Should we start off with that one then? The bold one, Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel, who announced his retirement at the end of 2022. But a lot of drivers do this, people. A lot of drivers always announce their retirement and then they end up coming back. Kimi Raikkonen's done it. Fernando Alonso's done it. A lot of drivers have done it. And Sebastian Vettel, he hasn't ruled it out. He hasn't ruled it out either. And I think it will tickle him now, won't it? Now Lewis Hamilton's joined Ferrari, that at the end of the day, Sebastian Vettel, he's a 3 to 4 time world champion. I think it's a 4-time world champion, I think it is. And obviously it didn't do well for him at Aston Martin. I think he left Aston Martin at the right time, to be honest with you, Sebastian Vettel. But I put that down to Aston Martin for me, for not having the car. I still think Sebastian Vettel will be a good driver. And I think Sebastian Vettel also, it won't just be Mercedes who will be after him. I think Sauber will be after him as well. I can see Sauber being after Sebastian Vettel, especially now with obviously Audi coming into F1 at 2026, I think it is. And obviously they will want a German driver as well at Sauber at some point, either next year or in 2026. And Sebastian Vettel, I can see Vettel coming back, people. I really can. I can see him coming back in the next 2 years, either next year or the year after. It's like when they leave F1 and when Bottas leave Bottas, they just can't stay away. They just can't stay away, can they? They just can't stay away, and it's too much for them to stay away, and they end up coming back. And Sebastian Vettel has secretly been exchanging some messages with Toto Wolff as well. With Toto Wolff. Is it realistic? I think it's kind of realistic, but do I see it happening? Well, he's drove a Red Bull and he's drove a Ferrari, so isn't he? A Mercedes will complete the team sweep. for Sebastian Vettel in terms of trying for the top teams. So I tell you what, I think Sebastian Vettel, I'd put him at number 2 in terms of how likely he could go to Mercedes. And people not really talking about him. So I'll put him at number 2. I have done for someone at number 1. But up next, the driver I've done for at number 4 in terms of yes, likely to join Mercedes, but it's still realistic. It's Kimi Antonelli. I think he's yes likely. I think it's far too early for him, especially to try for a big team like Mercedes as well. Kimi Antonelli. But I mean, Toto Wolff did say the next replacement for Lewis Hamilton is done with bold. He's done with bold. And they had options for me, because I think all 4 could actually be bold options to replace Lewis Hamilton, in my opinion. And Kimi Antonelli for me, too early for him. Obviously, he's trying in F2 at the moment. I think he's going to have another season in F2 by the looks of it as well, next season as well. But Mercedes will want Kimi Antonelli to try and get a seat for F1 next season. They'll try the hardest as well to try and get. Somebody's saying with other drivers, with their drivers, and they're telling me as well. I think Kimi Antonelli's got future, definitely, in F1. I think in the next couple of years, we may see him once he's had that experience in F2 this year and next year. Who knows? There's maybe a temporary seat for when one of the drivers can't obviously drive on the weekend. He could come in and try and impress like Ollie Berman did, like Liam Lawson did last year as well. But I think it's too early for Kimi Antonelli for this year and for next year as well, in my opinion. Esteban Ocon, before the season, I had Esteban Ocon as number 1 to replace Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes. Just the bond, him and Toto Wolff, Esteban Ocon and Toto Wolff have a strong bond as well. He's been around Mercedes, especially Mercedes are telling me a lot. He's drove with Mercedes are telling me as well. Esteban Ocon, he has been in and around the team when he's been trying for other teams as well. Esteban Ocon has that bond. But would Toto Wolff and Mercedes take a punt on Esteban Ocon after the start of the season he's had for Alpine? He's not really performing that Alpine car, whoever's fault that is, whether it's the Alpine's fault for not having the car, I think it is Alpine's fault for not having the car. Esteban Ocon would be a sensible signing, in my opinion, for Mercedes, because, like I said before, I think these top teams need to stop going for fantasy lineups, in my opinion. George Russell and Esteban Ocon, I think Ocon will be happy to be number 2, in my opinion. To George Russell, I think he will be. And he could easily do a Valtteri Bottas job at Mercedes to try and get back at the top. The sensible one, you know what, I would do that. I would honestly do that. I would actually put Esteban Ocon there. But it's what I think will happen. What do I think they'll do for? And I don't think they'll do for Esteban Ocon. I actually think they'll do for Fernando Alonso, in my opinion. I actually think Mercedes are done for Fernando Alonso. And you think to yourself, the budget is obviously done now with Lewis Hamilton. The budget is now back in place to try and get another top class driver in. And Fernando Alonso, he's going to be jumping at the bit to join Mercedes. He's drove for a top team before with Ferrari, and when McLaren were a top team as well, Fernando Alonso. And the only options for Fernando Alonso is Mercedes or F1, in my opinion, because I don't see him joining Red Bull. As much as we're yet said, he can definitely join Red Bull. I think Carlos Sainz will test that seat at Red Bull it's either Mercedes seat or Fernando Alonso leaves, in my opinion. I can't see him staying at Aston Martin for next year, in my opinion. And I think Fernando Alonso is going to take that Mercedes seat, in my opinion. I just think it's inevitable, isn't it? I think it's just inevitable, and that's all the noise at the moment about Fernando Alonso joining yet another top team in Red Bull or Mercedes. Toto Wolff be thinking to himself, well, I honestly think it's between Alonso and Vettel, in my opinion. And people are not talking about Sebastian Vettel, but there has been a lot of rumours. I have seen a lot of noise, well, not noise, but quiet, secret rumours going around with Sebastian Vettel. Not ruling out, he's not ruling out a F1 move either. Sebastian Vettel. And Fernando. And I think Vettel could well come back to F1, but I just don't think it'll be with Mercedes for Sebastian Vettel. Wouldn't shock me, because I think he's the alternative choice to Fernando Alonso. I believe Alonso will be number one choice to replace Hamilton at Mercedes. Because they've had it before. They've had it before with Michael Schumacher, haven't they? They've had it before with Michael Schumacher when he joined Mercedes, when he ended up with Nico Rosberg. They replaced Schumacher with Hamilton, and I just think they're going to replace Hamilton with another world champion, in my opinion, and that's going to be Fernando Alonso, in my opinion. I do think it's going to be Alonso or Sebastian Vettel for me, who's going to replace Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes. So up next then, obviously Ferrari. I've gave my opinions on that earlier in the stream. So they are contracted. Then McLaren are contracted, so no surprise there. But we move on to Aston Martin, which is going to be a very interesting one with Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll contracted, but his dad is exploring at selling his stake in the team, which means Lance Stroll's seat could be available. Lance Stroll could leave F1 if his dad wants to sell his stake. At the moment, Lance Stroll is contracted, and I do think the Strolls will stay for one more year at Aston Martin. I think they'll stay next year, which gives Lance Stroll the safest seat in F1 history. The related options for me, I've done for 3 options for me. I know you can go for Felix Roglic, who is a reserve driver. I think that's a bit of a ritzy one, in my opinion, to have him and Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll, the more experience, of course, but I think you need some well-experienced F1 driver in there alongside Lance Stroll as well. And the top-class driver, Alex Albon, certainly a shout for Aston Martin. He's already had 2 seasons at Williams now. A bit like George Russell at Williams, where when he had 2 seasons, then he obviously made that move to Mercedes. Alex Albon, Aston Martin are definitely obviously the top 5 teams on the grid, and I think Alex Albon will be chomping at the bit to take that Aston Martin seat, in my opinion. But James Vowles will have something to say about that. I think James Vowles, the Williams team principal, will do everything he can to keep Alex Albon, because he wants to keep Alex Albon as his number 1 driver at Williams. Esteban Ocon could be another shout as well, because I actually think Alpine could be up in that new lineup for next season, in my opinion, because I don't believe Ocon. We'll speak about Alpine later on, but I don't believe Ocon and Dacia want to stay at Alpine. when it comes to the end of the season, because I know this season's done been absolute shambles of a season for Alpine. Alpine don't know Stu says they don't investment as well, and I think they'll invest in the new lineup. I really do. So Ocon could be a shout for Aston Martin. Carlos Sainz, obviously, I think Carlos Sainz will join Red Bull, but I think he's definitely a shout for Aston Martin as well. But I do think Aston Martin, wait to it, Adam Dorr back in for Sergio Perez. I think Sergio Perez is obviously Aston Martin was previously known as Racing Point and Force India. They still have that bond, Sergio Perez, with Aston Martin, who was previously known as Force India and Racing Point. And that's the only option I can see happening, Sergio Perez at Aston Martin, in my opinion, alongside Lance Stroll. So basically, it's another reunion between Stroll and Perez with the last two teams with Racing Point and Force India. So I think Perez will join Aston Martin, in my opinion, with Pierre Alonso and team up with Lance Stroll. Up next then, we've got Williams. We have got Williams. We've got Alex Albon, who's already contracted, so we will put him in. There we go. Alex Albon, who is contracted. Realistic options for me, I think there's a few options for Williams that will be on the shortlist. I think Esteban Ocon's on shortlist. James Vowles was at Mercedes when Esteban Ocon was obviously part of the driver academy. Toto Wolff will have an ear in James Vowles. Will be in James Vowles' ears to sign Esteban Ocon up. And I think he's definitely high up on the list for me, Esteban Ocon, to replace Logan Sargent at Williams. Another realistic option is definitely Kimi Antonelli. Again, Mercedes, that Mercedes bond, isn't it? Mercedes link up. Toto Wolff will definitely be in James Vowles' ear about Kimi Antonelli. James Vowles would have had that bond as well, Kimi Antonelli from the driver academy as well. Mick Schumacher, I think he's definitely done begins with a seat back in F1, in my opinion, after a couple of seasons out of F1. And it's just the name, isn't it? It's just the name of Schumacher for me. And there will be a lot of noise about Mick Schumacher potentially coming back into F1. He's going to have options for me. Valtteri Bottas once was at Williams before he joined Mercedes under Toto Wolff. Toto Wolff was at Williams, then obviously he signed Bottas for Mercedes. I think that's another realistic option. I think that's probably in the top three in terms of likely options for me. Up there, I'm going to say it already, I think the top three options for Williams will be Ocon, Antonelli and Valtteri Bottas for me. Other shouts, Perdazzi is another shout. Because I do think Alpine are a bit of a car class at the moment, and I think the tires are falling at Alpine, and I think they're asking enough for a new lineup for next year. I really do think that. Perdazzi, he's going to have good options as well. He's going to have Williams and potentially a return to face Tata RB, we were previously known as AlphaTauri. Daniel Ricciardo, if Face Tata decide to keep Yuki Tsunoda and have a new Lawson partnership over there, or potentially Perdazzi and Tsunoda reunion over there. Daniel Ricciardo, I think Daniel Ricciardo is still going to have options as well for the driver that he is. Maybe not done too well for him at Face Tata RB at the moment, but he still has a strong bond with Alpine, Daniel Ricciardo. Williams will definitely be one of the teams after Daniel Ricciardo as well, and definitely face Tata RB as well, in my opinion. And Liam Lawson, for me, Christian Horner and Red Bull will be in teams' ears to obviously try and want them to sign Liam Lawson. Jim Lawson, weirdest options for him is definitely Alpine for me. Is Alpine, Williams Racing, these tasks off RB, in my opinion. But who do I think will join Williams? It may surprise a few people, may not. I think Esteban Ocon. I think Esteban Ocon joins Williams, in my opinion, to team up with Alex Albon at Williams. I know that's very strong. It is a very strong lineup, if you ask me. But I think some teams for the 2025 preparation for radiations are done these strong teams, in my opinion, to prepare for 2026, in my opinion. I think next year we'll probably see stronger teams, stronger lineups. 2026 we'll probably see the likes of Lawson, Antonelli, Berman potentially. I just feel Antonelli, Lawson, and Berman will all come in when the new regulations are in place in 2026, in my opinion. I think all them three will probably become reserve drivers for 2025 as well for respective teams, in my opinion. And I think Esteban Ocon, who's still a strong shout from Mercedes as well, with a bond with Toto Wolff, I think the bond is there. I think Esteban Ocon still going to be in the F1 seat, in my opinion. But I think it's going to be with Williams, in my opinion. A bit of a Mercedes reunion between Ocon and James Vowles, in my opinion. And I think James Vowles is going to sign. I think that's what James Vowles is going to do. That's what Williams is going to do. They're going to look at drivers who have been in the round at Mercedes, like Ocon, Antonelli, and Valtteri Bottas, in my opinion. They are the three top options for me. And I think Esteban Ocon will join Williams, in my opinion, and link up with Alex Albon. Up next, then, we've got three Hatsap RB, the weirdest options for me. Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda's both contrast Aspire, and the only other way options you got is Pierre Gasly and Jim Lawson, in my opinion. I think they're all them four are weirdest options. It's just take a pick, isn't it? It's a take a pick moment for these Hatsap RB. In terms of the first driver, who I think will be there, I've done for Daniel Ricciardo. I think Daniel Ricciardo will be kept on at these Hatsap RB. I do think for me, he's the better driver. He is better than Yuki Tsunoda, in my opinion. It's the last chance to use for Yuki Tsunoda, in my opinion. I think Daniel Ricciardo, even if he has a poor season, I still think he will be kept on for that experience as well. And I think it's going to be, I genuinely believe, one of the drivers will stay at this Hatsap RB, the other will go. And I think Ricciardo will be the man who will stay at this Hatsap RB. Because I think Red Bull have a good bond with Ricciardo and Tsunoda, but the Ricciardo bond at Red Bull is very strong, isn't it? It's very strong, and Ricciardo's definitely going to be having a seat, in my opinion. After a year out of F1, Daniel Ricciardo. So I'd go for Daniel Ricciardo to be the first man in the first Hatsap RB seat. And finally, the other option I've done for to team up with Daniel Ricciardo is Pierre Gasly. I have done for Pierre Gasly to return to face Hatsap RB and have a bit of a Red Bull drivers lineup about it at face Hatsap RB. I think Pierre Gasly is a better driver than Yuki Tsunoda, in my opinion. Better driver than Yuki Tsunoda. As I said before, I just don't think Ocon and Pierre Gasly are going to be loyal, in my opinion, to Alpine. I think they're going to jump ship at the end of the season, both of them. And Alpine are going to have a new lineup, which is why I probably left Alpine to that, in my opinion. Jim Lawson, as I said, I think Jim Lawson will more dead seat in F1 in 2026, in my opinion, when the new regulations come around. But I think Pierre Gasly, with these current regulations, the likes of him, Alex Albon, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, George Russell, Charles Leclerc, they all suited the 2022 regulations, of course, and Alonso Ricardo and Perdazzi, which will be again another strong lineup in my opinion, if you ask me. On to Sauber then, or state F1 team you want to call them, but I call them Sauber. And the way listed options, Valtteri Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou, both contracts expire. I've picked out 5 options for Sauber. I've done for Nico Hulkenberg, Mick Schumacher, Kimi Antonelli, Carlos Sainz, and Sebastian Vettel. Carlos Sainz for me, he could be tempted by the Audi pod set in 2026, in my opinion. Maybe one to watch out for. Maybe Carlos Sainz might have 1 year at Red Bull and maybe join Audi in 2026. Maybe there will be an agreement in place, potentially. But again, I do think the F1 team will keep one of the drivers. I don't for Valtteri Bottas. I think Valtteri Bottas will stay on for at least one more year. Just to have that experienced driver in there for me. I think Zhou Guanyu is done in F1. I think Zhou Guanyu is definitely done in F1. I then don't think he's done enough in my opinion. Once again, it's another driver for me with Zhou Guanyu who's been put in the F1 seat for his sponsor money, but he's not got the driving ability in my opinion. But he has started off well, to be fair. He has started off quite well in my opinion, if you ask me. But is it too yet? And I don't really keep Zhou Guanyu over Valtteri Bottas in my opinion. Unless Bottas decides to retire. If Bottas decides to retire, then obviously I think Zhou Guanyu will definitely keep his place. But I think Bottas still got a couple of years left in him in terms of the F1 seat for me. But it's all about who will be alongside him. Nico Hulkenberg's definitely a realistic option. A bit of a swap in terms of hats to Sauber. Both the Ferrari engines as well. So he is used to driving with that Ferrari engine. Mick Schumacher especially being at Haas in 2021 and 2022. And Mick Schumacher who's obviously looking to come back to F1 in 2025 after 2 years out. German driver as well. Kimi Antonelli, Sauber. There is a bit of Italian about Sauber as well, obviously with the Ferrari engine. They have had Italian drivers in the past with Antonio Giovinazzi, and Antonelli. I tell you what, even though that's a bit of a Mercedes, bit of a yen top, isn't it, with Bottas and Antonelli? I think Bottas will be a good mentor, definitely. Will definitely be a good mentor for Kimi Antonelli. So they're always options for me. They are quite always options. It's all about take a pick, really. But for me, I've gone for Sebastian Vettel. I've gone for Sebastian Vettel to join Sauber and to team up with Valtteri Bottas at State F1 team and Sauber. Sebastian Vettel has been keeping it quiet in terms of the turn to F1. He hasn't ruled it out. He's been exchanging some messages with Toto Wolff as well about potentially joining Mercedes. He will still definitely have a bond in terms of with Red Bull as well, and even Ferrari. Even though it didn't work out for him at Ferrari. He is used to the Ferrari engine as well. Sebastian Vettel. I'm pretty sure Vettel started off at Sauber as well. I'm pretty sure in his when he first started in F1 before he joined Toro Rosso as well. So I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Sauber was as his first team in terms of F1 before he joined Toro Rosso as well. So finish what you started, isn't it? It's finish what you started basically for Sebastian Vettel. But I just got a feeling Vettel's going to come back to F1 in the next 2 years, in my opinion, 2025 or 2026. And I think Vettel will join up at Sauber alongside Valtteri Bottas, and that is a truly experienced lineup, a very strong experienced lineup as well. in my opinion. So, and finally, well, we've got 2 more teams to do yet. We've got Haas and Alpine. But onto Haas then. Where the options for Haas is Nico Hulkenberg and Tim Madsen, despite their contracts expiring. Antonio Giovinazzi, former Sauber driver, of course, and is one of the reserve drivers currently in 2024 as well, and definitely an experienced driver in F1 as well. Antonio Giovinazzi, Terry Antonelli then, just all about that Ferrari, obviously Italian engine, isn't it? Ferrari, love the Italian drivers. Terry Antonelli, obviously, is more of a Mercedes Camry driver, but he's going to have a lot of options for this year and 2026 as well. Jordan Sargent has, just on the fact that has a American team for me, on the fact that the American team and Jordan Sargent is disappointed me, Jordan Sargent. I honestly thought he would be a surprise package this year. Not like be top 10 and all that. I thought he would be much better than last year, Jordan Sargent. Thought he was unlucky last year, but this year it's just shown the same mistakes again for me. And Haas in the American team. And finally, Robert Schwarzman, who is one of the reserve drivers currently. One of the Ferrari Camry drivers as well, Robert Schwarzman. Obviously, he has James Nathan to Israel. Israel Elliott. He has changed, obviously, his Nathan from Russia because with obviously the latest going on in terms of the war. And the reason why Mazepin was removed. That's why I probably don't see Robert Schwarzman down the seat, unfortunately for him. Sargent, I don't think he gets the seat either. Tune Antonelli is between Giovinazzi and Tune Antonelli and the other 2 drivers. But in terms of Nico Hulkenberg, I don't think Nico Hulkenberg to join Alpine. I don't think Nico Hulkenberg to join Alpine, in my opinion. And if we look at Alpine's related options, I've done for obviously Esteban Ocon, Paradise, both contracts expire, but as I said, having Alpine isn't that new lineup for next year. So I just don't think Ocon and Dadsy are gonna be. I just don't think they're gonna be loyal, in my opinion. I just can't see them being loyal to Alpine. Obviously with the mess Alpine are in at the moment. Nico Hulkenberg used to try for Renault as well, and I think that's a very realistic option for me for Alpine to go for. They don't have investment as well. They have investment or Stutzid, and massive opportunity for Nico Hulkenberg to be number 1 driver. Zhou Guanyu has been part of the Alpine driver talent made before. That wouldn't surprise me at all. That option, but I just don't think he's done enough to drive an F1 for me. Daniel Ricciardo, obviously I've already said, I think Alpine could be realistic for Daniel Ricciardo, but I think he stays on at his class of RB. Liam Lawson, definitely a realistic option. Christian Horner, Red Bull, they'll be wanting to get Liam Lawson the seat for 2025. But then, I still think it might be too early for Liam Lawson. In my opinion, I think they need to get a few more practice sessions in them. The likes of Liam Lawson, Ollie Berman, and Kimi Antonelli. I think them 3 should actually try in practice sessions for me. Probably practice 1, something like that. Get used to the car, get used to the respective cars, and maybe put them in. And Mick Schumacher is the final option. And as I said, I think Mick Schumacher, after 2 years out, is going to return to F1, in my opinion. And I think he is going to take that Alpine seat alongside Nico Hulkenberg. I think Alpine, Matthew Dorfer, an old German lineup. Would you believe it or not? It's an old German lineup, but Nico Hulkenberg has had a part with Renault engine, hasn't he? Had a part with the Renault engine. Mick Schumacher. I think I was told that a good team for me. I was told that a sensible team, in my opinion. Nico Hulkenberg, experienced driver. which is what Mick Schumacher didn't really have, did he, in terms of 2021, when he was driving alongside Nikita Mazepin, 2-run off a lineup, 2-run. It's good for Mick to have that experience next to him in terms of Nico Hulkenberg. So they're the options that don't fall for Alpine. But back to Haas, in terms of the options that don't fall in terms of Haas, remove that banner, and I don't for Kevin Magnussen to stay on. I don't for Kevin Magnussen to stay on at Haas, which is, I think, another race option. I think the relationship and the bond is good, isn't it, with Magnussen and Haas. He's been at Haas for many years as well, and I think nothing's going to change there. And in terms of the final option on who will join up with Kevin Magnussen, I don't think Antonio Giovinazzi, who is the former, who used to be at Alfa Romeo, talks in F1. Don't think Antonio Giovinazzi. As I said, I just think Kimi Antonelli, Robert Schwarzman, them type of drivers need to have more practice sessions with their respective teams in terms of their academy, in my opinion, before they join F1. I mean, Zhou Guanyu could be a realistic option as well. You could say Yuki Tsunoda could be a realistic option. We all see the team principal at Haas is from Asia, of course, so Zhou Guanyu and Yuki Tsunoda could be options there. Could be another honourable mention in nominations because of the team principal being from Asia. But I do think the other experience, in my opinion, who's I still think was unlucky when he was at Alfa Romeo, in my opinion, Antonio Giovinazzi. And I think they may give him another door. And I think this time it'll be Haas who will give him another door in F1. So I'm going for Kevin Magnussen and Antonio Giovinazzi partnership, which will, if you look on paper, that's probably going to be, unfortunately, the worst lineup out of all them options on there, out of the lineup I've done for. But I genuinely believe this will be the lineup for F1 2025, in my opinion. So for Red Bull, and for Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz, for Mercedes, done for George Russell and Fernando Alonso. For Ferrari, obviously, and Mercedes already contracted. For Aston Martin, I think it'll be Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez. For Alpine, I don't for a new lineup with Nico Hulkenberg and Mick Schumacher. For Williams, I don't for Alex Albon and Esteban Ocon. For Face Cats RB, done for Ricardo and Dadsey. For State F1 team, done for Valtteri Bottas. And the return of Sebastian Vettel. It's not fancy, it's genuinely what I believe. And for Haas, I done for Kevin Magnussen and Antonio Giovinazzi. So the new lineup on there is obviously Alpine. I just think Alpine, for the next couple of years, Alpine need to weather the storm, in my opinion. Weather the storm, get a Europe lineup in, and prepare for 2026. I think that's going to be Alpine now for you. Prepare for the 2026 regulations. I mean, next year is definitely going to be preparation for 2026, in my opinion. So we could have, actually, next year, we could actually have an unpredictable season, in my opinion. I still expect Red Bull to dominate next year as well, but we don't know. We actually don't know. 2025, I think 2025, any F1 fans watching, 2025, 2026, they are the years to look out for in terms of it might actually be unpredictable, in my opinion. But anyways, if you watch this on playback, feel free to leave your F1 2025 driver predictions down below in the comments. They are my 2025 driver lineup predictions. Feel free to leave your predictions down below in the comments. Take care, stay safe, so yeah, and I'll see you all in the next one, which will be the Premier League title race, where I'll be predicting the rest of the season, in my opinion. Well, not in my opinion, but I will be predicting who will win the lead, and every day, basically, in the title race, where the points will be dropped. So join me for that. take care, stay safe, and see you later.